Erev Tov, Rosh Hanikra. Good morning in Austin, Texas. Greetings to everybody who's here with us on this Sunday. My name's Wayne Firestone on behalf of the America-Israel Friendship League. It's great to be with everyone here live on a Sunday. We like to welcome everybody and build community. We've been doing this for 3 years now. We love, some of you are just waking up, some of you are ready to go to sleep, or whatever is on the beginning of your week or the end of your weekend, depending on where you are in this world. We'd like to begin with a little community building moment. And I've been thinking on this particular episode about common themes with different organizations that we're going to hear from. Mordecai and Carol, who you're going to meet, lovingly introduce us to organizations that are doing great things, doing mitzvot, depending on what language you're thinking or dreaming or believing in. You may call it something else, but at the end of the day, there is someone that is helping someone else's life here and is having tremendous impact in the lives of the people that are being served. And all of us at one time or the other have been on the other end of that, where we've needed some critical service. And so I just wanted to begin just with a little bit of a moment for appreciation in our own families, our own lives, for a medical practitioner, whether that's a doctor or a nurse or someone else who has delivered some healthcare service to you or a family member or a loved one, and deserves a little bit of gratitude. Maybe it's something 20 years ago or 10 years ago, but as you're going to hear later today, some of the interventions that we're talking about impact on people's lives for the rest of their lives. And so that gratitude certainly is intended to continue for someone who may have had a short momentary intervention, or a lot of people behind the scenes essentially who aren't even recognized, because as we're going to learn today, sometimes it's the logistics that matter the most when you're trying to deal with something in a very short period of time. So before we begin, if somebody comes to mind that you want to acknowledge or send a little love to, send a little appreciation to, put their name in the chat, and then when we pass this on and it goes viral, or it goes to the many viewers around the world who will see this, we get to share that little extra love on this episode. So we're going to begin the love out in the Bay Area. Mordecai, I don't know if that's where you're broadcasting from today, one of our co-founders of the Israel Legacy Central, which has a common vision with the AIFL in sort of just sharing some of the miracles that are happening, some of the people behind the scenes that are doing things that are really improving lives. And we've been excited to explore this series. Sometimes we look at organizations that nobody's even ever heard of and are doing incredible things on a daily basis that we like to show others just how important that work is. So Mordecai, tell us a little bit about why you love doing this work with ILC, and indeed about the two organizations you're excited about to introduce today.
Wayne, thanks for the great introduction. I'm actually in the great city of Modi'in, Israel today. So I am fortunate to be here for a few weeks. And I am here in Israel working on the ground with some of our nonprofit partners, with organizations like Matnat, Chaim, and Operation Ethiopia. Each organization that we work with is truly amazing. They each have a unique cause. And just Israel Legacy Central, our goal is to help the different nonprofits in Israel build a legacy program and put a sustainability plan in place. And an impressive but not known fact here is that there are over 1 million employees and volunteers in the nonprofit sector. It's a true driving force in the Israeli economy. And it's just an opportunity for me personally to get to know these organizations. Each has a unique cause, and I want to invite all of our viewers, participants to, after the show, learn more about us, learn more about the organizations and the people who are on the ground who are doing the amazing work. With that, I'll pass it back to you so that we can get started with our show.
Great. Well, we're first of all, I should mention in the chat, we're getting a lot of love today from Modi'in. So kol hakavod to Modi'in for being out there in large numbers and for doing such great things. Indeed, we have people calling in from Canada. We have people calling in from Florida. We have people in New York, and the usual places where we draw visitors. Today, we're going to reach far out into Africa as part of our panel. So hang in there. We got a lot of people to introduce you to and some really great work. But let's start with Judy Singer, who is the vice president at Matnat Chaim. And Judy has been involved with leadership with this organization since 2005. She herself has been a kidney donor and brings a unique perspective into this organization, the impact that it's having. So Judy, tell us a little about Matnat Chaim and what we can expect to hear from your colleagues who are with us, Rachel Heber and Rachel Steele, representing the organization in very exciting ways.
Hi, everybody. Very happy to be here today, and we're honored to have been asked to participate in the AIFL and ILC webinar. And we'd like to share some stories with you about our organization, which is called Matnat Chaim. Matnat Chaim is Hebrew for gift of life. And what we do in our organization is to recruit and support healthy adults who volunteer to donate. We have kidney transplants that are facilitated by our organization most days during the week. This week we have 4 kidney transplants, and by the end of the week we will facilitate our 1,450th transplant. Israel today is the world leader in living kidney transplants per capita. And that's according to a report by the World Health Organization. And we're very proud to be leading the kidney transplant revolution in Israel. I myself am a former American. I grew up in Missouri. I made Aliyah in the 80s. And in 2013, I was, I don't know, having a little bit of a midlife crisis, perhaps. And I was looking for something to kind of do that would be special and unique. And I read an article about kidney donation, and I started looking around to see how that could happen in Israel. And I found this very unusual and unique organization, Matnat Chaim. And with this help and support of the organization, I donated a kidney to a woman named Rina. This was towards the end of 2013, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And after I completed the whole kidney donation process, I volunteered for Matnat Chaim for a while, and then I was asked to join the staff. It's a really incredibly unique organization. There's only one even comparable organization in the world, which is in New York, but Matnat Chaim has an incredibly large pool of kidney donors. And I think that our organization maybe is really only suited for Israel, where in many ways people are like one big family, and really kidney donation brings out the very best in many people. Kidney donors receive no financial compensation for their donation. The only reason they're doing it is to help others and save lives. Generally, we're talking about saving lives of strangers, or strangers at least before the kidney donation. We focus on raising awareness about kidney donation in order to recruit more and more donors. And we do that through every possible method, whether it's PR, print, radio, TV, journalism, social media campaigns, lectures, and more. And that's the biggest focus of our work and of our budget. And we've got some really wonderful stories that Rachel will be telling you, and we're very pleased and happy to be able to share this kind of information with you, and hope we can stir up some interest.
Thanks so much. I know we now have your chairman, Rachel Heber, just for a short time. We're so gracious to have you here to describe how this organization has grown to be per capita, providing the most. I mean, it's just such a shockingly proud. I'm telling. I got to tell you something. When I think about the fact that Israel per capita is creating more life through life-giving kidneys, it's really something that really brings a lot of joy and pride for me. So please tell us a little bit about the organization and why you're smiling now.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Excuse my English, and I promise to excuse your Hebrew. Matnat Chaim, Gift of Life, was founded in 2009 by my husband, Rabbi Yeshayahu Heber. 2 years beforehand, in 2007, my husband developed a serious kidney disease at the age of 42 and survived on dialysis. While on dialysis, he met a young kidney patient by the name Pinchas Turgeman, a bereaved brother. His only brother, Yair, was killed in a terrorist attack, and Pinchas remained an only son to his parents. He was on dialysis too, and they became very, very close to each other since my husband was a teacher with no students on dialysis. Pinchas was a student with no teachers on dialysis. So they created a small school, a unique school, one teacher, one student, and they became very, very close to each other. In 2008, my husband we founded my husband a donor after the whole family tried to donate and we couldn't. So one of his best friends decided to donate a kidney. My husband is going out to a free life. For Pinchas, it was very, very hard. I remember him going to my husband and saying to him, Rabbi Heber, please don't leave me behind. Please take me out of this jail. I can't stay here anymore. I want to study. I want to develop. I have so many dreams. I want to get married. I want to be a father. Please take me out of here. And my husband promised to try. After my husband's successful transplant, he remembered his promise, and he didn't leave a stone unturned until he found Pinchas a kidney donor. But unfortunately, Pinchas, that was already 2009 almost. Pinchas, after the whole process, 2 weeks before his planned date for the surgery, on the way to dialysis, Pinchas suffered heart failure and passed away on the way to dialysis. I remember his father shouting and screaming and crying and saying that he had two only sons. One died one was killed in a terrorist attack, and one in the dialysis attack. And he lost both of them. That was the day that my husband broke. And he said, no more people should die on dialysis. Can't be like that. He always used to say that the day Pinchas passed away, that's the birthday of Matnat Chaim. That's the day he decided to take them all of them out of dialysis and to save the kidney patients. So that was, so 2009, actually, we opened the organization. We didn't even have a name for that. Then we named it Matnat Chaim, Gift of Life. It has a double meaning, gift from living donors and also gives life, of course. My husband dedicated all his time, effort, energy, and strength to finding donors and to help the people that suffer. And actually, he founded Matnat Chaim to promote live kidney donations and eradicate waiting list for kidney transplant patients. 3 years ago, in April 2020, my husband passed away. He from COVID, and I remember before the funeral, I didn't even know how I would breathe without him, because we were one soul and we still are. But I told my son, Daddy is not here anymore. He's not living anymore. But Matnat Chaim will not die. That was the dream. That's the will, and we're going to continue no matter what. So thank God we are continuing. And as Judy said, Matnat Chaim is leading the world, and Israel is the first in the world in live donors, kidney donors. Until today, 1,450 people, I would say angels, have donated a kidney. 1,450 lives have been saved. 1,450 families have returned to normal life. Donating a kidney is a social act of special kindness and goodwill with no other motives, only to save another person, a stranger's life. We're above politics, above political, ethnic, or religious views. We are living, we're just here to make the world, to bring the world to a higher and better place. There's so much pure love in our activity. We see a person that volunteers to go into the surgery room and to give part of his body to someone that he most of the time doesn't even know him, just because he loves him, just because he wants to bring him back to life. And this is really the true Israeli spirit we are so proud of. And only if I could end in a special little story. 5 years ago, a woman from New Jersey actually made aliyah to Israel. She came to our house. She told us that she wants to donate a kidney. She was in her 50s. She told them, my husband asked her, what brought you to such a decision to donate a kidney? So she said that she's married only almost 30 years, close to 30 years, and she couldn't be a mother. She couldn't have children, and she wanted. I'm sorry. And she wanted actually. Do you hear me now?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, I'm sorry. And she wants to give life in a different way. So, but she only had one little condition. She wanted to donate a kidney to a young woman or young man that they will have children, and their children she will have a part of them. So we matched her to Victor, a 25 years old boy, a young man. And when he went out of the surgery room, back to the department, to the ward, the next day, he went up to her and told her, "Thank you so much, mother." She started to cry and she said, 30 years I'm dreaming for someone to call me a mother. So he said, I have my biological mother that brought me to the world. I have you that delivered me once again. And actually, that's my new birthday. A year and a half ago, Victor had a baby girl. And this little girl has 3 grandmothers. She has Victor's mother, biological mother. She has her mother's mother, and she has Kaden. That's the woman that donated kidney and actually brought him back to life. And we see every single day people come back to life. And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to little bit to give you the taste of what we see here and we feel here.
Rachel, what a beautiful, beautiful story. And thank you for sharing that with us. I know this was hard for you the timing to be with us. We're very grateful that we got to hear the original vision and really the continuity of this, the inspiration from your beloved husband. The only way we could match, I think, the begin to try to tell the whole story is to hear directly from someone who we've heard from a donor, we've heard from a family member who was inspired to do this great thing for others. Now I want to introduce you to Rachel Steele, just for a complete part of this picture. Rachel was an Ola from London, if I understand correctly. And, people come to Israel for lots of different reasons and receive lots of different gifts. But Rachel, I'm grateful for you to be with us today. Could you share a little bit about your own story and the legacy of the kidney donation for you?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. It feels like a real honor to be able to speak about Matnat Chaim, the organization that has saved my life twice, actually. I suffered from the age of 20 years ago, from kidney failure. I didn't have a reason why I suffered from it. And for the next 10 years, I was on and off of dialysis. Having been on dialysis for 5 years, a doctor actually told me that I only had 5 years left to survive. And in this knowledge, I knew that I had to try and do something to find myself another kidney. I felt in real dismay. And my mother managed to find the number of Rabbi Heber. I came to Israel randomly for a friend's wedding and decided to call him. And he told me to go to him the next day. I was skeptical because I'd had many people tell me they could help me in the past and nothing had come from it. But I was greeted by Rabbi and Rabbinat Heber with open arms and with such love. And within 2 weeks, they had found me a donor to save my life after being 5 years on dialysis. The effect it had on my life, it gave me everything back. I was unable to function as a normal human being. I was unable to eat, I was unable to drink, I was unable to do nearly all bodily functions. And from the moment I woke up from this operation, I felt like a new person. I felt reconnected in my brain, in my soul, in my body. And this is all thanks to also to my wonderful donor and also to Matnat Chaim for fighting for me and for wanting me to be well and seeing me as a human and not ever judging me and just knowing that they wanted me to be off of dialysis. Unfortunately, due to extending circumstances, I started to suffer from kidney failure again. And when I contacted the Rabbinat Heber, it wasn't even a question for her to look for me for another kidney. This time it took a little bit longer, but 8 months ago, I received another kidney from another donor from Matnat Chaim, a beautiful woman who saved my life again. And I just feel so grateful for this organization. In England, I would never have had this opportunity to receive a kidney from a stranger. And I probably would either be on dialysis or unfortunately not be here anymore. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone involved in Matnat Chaim for giving me my life back, for allowing me to live my life to the fullest. And I feel so much love for all of you. And it's a real honor to be here to talk on behalf of this wonderful, wonderful life-saving organization.
Rachel, that is just so remarkable. What a remarkable story, and it's so telling to hear your appreciation for the organization, not just once but twice. Lightning does strike twice, I guess, at times, and our health professionals and advocates have to be prepared for everything. Wow, there's a lot to process there. I get both intellectually and I think emotionally for everyone. We do have a short little clip now just to help you sort of understand the essence of the work before we move to the second miracle maker on this panel today. So let's go ahead and show that as just sort of a way to sort of close and have a full picture of the work of Matnat Chaim.
החיים הם המתנה הגדולה ביותר שאפשר להעניק לאדם, וכלת פרס ישראל הבאה שלנו למפעל חיים הפכה את החיים, את קדושת החיים, למפעל תרתי משמע.
היא הקימה ביחד עם בעלה, זכרו לברכה, את עמותת מתנת חיים, שמחברת תורמים אלטרואיסטים לחולים שזקוקים להשתלת כליה.
ומאז הלך לעולמו, היא ממשיכה לבדה את המפעל האדיר הזה.
מתנת חיים וסיפור חיים שאנחנו פשוט חייבים לשמוע. הרבנית רחל הבר, כלת פרס ישראל בתחום מפעל חיים. ברכות.
תודה רבה.
צריך לומר, מתנת חיים היא סוג של שליחות עבורך.
מתנת חיים הוקמה בעצם על בסיס ניסיון אישי. בעלי הרב ישעיהו הבר, זיכרונו לברכה, היה מושתל כליה. הוא החליט שחלום חייו זה לחלץ את כולם ממכוני הדיאליזה ולהציל את חולי הכליות מסבלם. כשבעלי, זיכרונו לברכה, נפטר בגיל 55, אמרו עליו, הוא לא נפטר צעיר, הוא חי מהר. וכל אחד צריך לדעת למלא את החיים בתוכן משמעותי, ואנחנו במתנת חיים רואים את זה יומם ולילה. אנחנו רואים אנשים נכנסים לחדר הניתוחים, נפרדים מחלק מגופם, עוטפים את הכליה הזו בצלופן של אהבה, ומעניקים אותה בלא תמורה לזולתם, והם אלה שמגיע להם למעשה את פרס ישראל.
יש לי רצון לתת, אבל ההזדמנות לא הייתה מגיעה למיצוי אם לא הייתי רואה באמת את הפרסום של מתנת חיים. ההבנה שאני יכולה לעזור עכשיו, היא הייתה מאוד משמעותית.
ממש עברתי תקופה מאוד 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 קשה, לקבל טלפון, להבין שמישהי שאני לא מכירה רוצה לתרום, לתת לי חיים.
אני רוצה לומר משפט שבעלי היה מנכיח, לא כל אחד יכול לתרום כליה. לא כל אחד צריך לתרום כליה, לא כל אחד רשאי לתרום כליה. כל אחד יכול לתרום אהבה ואחווה ושלום ורעות וחיבור. וזה סוד המדינה שלנו, באמת להיות ביחד.
הרבנית רחל הבר, זוכת פרס ישראל למפעל חיים.
Well, you may have guessed that many of our panelists are very modest people, and but we just felt we needed to share that wonderful recognition that many of our viewers know. To receive an Israel Prize is really quite a lofty accomplishment for anyone, whether you're modest or immodest or Megillah, and we are very proud. We're very proud to have featured that work and for ILC for lifting them up and showcasing them so that other people could understand the work we're doing. You know, it would be enough if we just sort of stopped the show right now and said, look, we're doing a great job. There are great things happening here. You know, but the world we live in today is one where we know there are needs all around the world. And we know that there are folks who have less resources, less opportunities. And we can't bring the entire world to Israel for every operation. We can't. Maybe we'll get there someday, but at the moment, we're still a small but mighty a country in a tough neighborhood, and it is remarkable to think about the outsized impact Israel has beyond her borders in helping others and doing good deeds. And indeed, we're excited to have another dynamic duo, husband and wife team, who figured out how to coexist within a Zoom box. That's important these days alone, but more important, to take from their respective backgrounds and expertise to find in their own way to do some tikkun olam, to help repair something that they were motivated to and focused on in a very specific way. So I'm so pleased to introduce, we'll start with Dr. Morris Hartstein, because he will give us an insight as to how the organization was founded and its raison d'être, as we say, that what they were trying to accomplish. And then we will pick it up with Elisa talking about what that organization is doing today, and who else is going to share from the tremendous work that Operation Ethiopia is doing.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate the opportunity to be invited today and also to share the screen with such an amazing organization that we just heard about, Matnat Chaim. I'm Dr. Morris Hartstein. I made Aliyah in 2004, and I'm an eye doctor ophthalmologist at Shamir Medical Center. And I'm going to let Elisa, now my wife, tell the story of how we got started with Operation Ethiopia.
Thank you. Again, I echo Morris's appreciation and respect for Matnat Chaim and your work. I'm a native of Atlanta, Georgia. We made Aliyah 18 years ago. I have a business background, and before I became the managing director of Operation Ethiopia, I was running my own company. But now Morris and I are working in this partnership together. So a little bit about how we got started and what we do. It was 2014, and our 4 children, who were then ages 11 to 16, asked if we could do a volunteer trip instead of our usual summer vacation. We learned there was a Jewish community in Gondar, Ethiopia, and we arranged to volunteer there for a week. We really had no idea what to expect, but we flew to Gondar, where we met hundreds of Jewish children, and we ran activities like arts and crafts and music and dancing. But on our last day, it became known that Morris was an eye doctor, and he was suddenly surrounded by hundreds of people asking him to check their eyes. Most of them had never seen a doctor. Many of them suffered from advanced blinding cataracts. Many of the kids had severe red eyes and discharge that was indicative of potentially blinding eye infections, and all of this because they had no access to eye medications. So using only a pen light, Morris and our kids as his assistants stayed late into the night and checked each patient one by one. But unfortunately, we really had no treatment to offer them. Some of the families invited us into their homes. We drank coffee with them on their mud floors. There were entire families living in one-room mud huts. They had no toilets, no kitchens, no sinks, no clean running water. The kids were visibly malnourished. So we returned to Israel. We went home after a week, but the trip really left a deep impression on us. And there was something about seeing such a level of poverty that really was unimaginable to us close up and firsthand that we had trouble resuming our normal lives. And we really felt we had to go back. We had to do something tangible to help. So the following summer, we went back to Gondar, but this time we loaded up suitcases with eye drops and eyeglasses that we purchased ourselves. We set up a mobile eye clinic in the Jewish compound. We had each of our kids man a different station, checking vision, distributing medications, giving out eyeglasses. We literally examined and treated hundreds of people. For the next 7 years, and at our own expense, Morris and some combination of our kids made 15 trips back to Ethiopia. The Gondar municipality heard about our mobile eye clinics in the Jewish compound and asked if we could do the same in the neighboring villages, where masses of people have no access to eye care. And we were happy to expand our work there as well. Morris obtained an Ethiopian medical license and began providing free surgeries in the local hospitals and teaching Ethiopian eye doctors. We began to bring Ethiopian eye doctors to Shamir Medical Center in Israel for advanced training. Our kids' teenage friends wanted to join us, so we started bringing them along with us as well. That was the beginning of the formal volunteer program that we have today. To date, we have examined and treated over 9,000 patients in Jewish and non-Jewish villages. We've established a training program for Ethiopian ophthalmologists in Israel, which has certified 19 doctors, including one of our guests here today who you'll hear from. We run cataract campaigns in rural villages in Ethiopia where people have no access to surgeries or doctors. We have restored eyesight to 1,500 blind people, and we've trained 300 doctors and hospital staff in first aid and CPR. In 2022, Morris was awarded the Sylvan Adams Bonetzion Global Impact Award from Nefesh B'Nefesh and the Outstanding Humanitarian Service Award from the American Academy of Ophthalmology. He's addressed Israeli Parliament regarding human suffering in Ethiopia and joined 2 different Israeli diplomatic missions to Ethiopia. Last year, after I closed my US company after 20 years, we took our 7-year family volunteer effort and we created the official nonprofit organization, Operation Ethiopia. In a few minutes, we'll show you a video where you can see us in action in Ethiopia and what we do. But right now I want to turn to Dr. Seble. She's joining us today from Addis Ababa, and last year she spent 4 months training with Morris in Israel.
Okay, hello. It's an honor to be, part of this program. I'm Sablon Gelshatu. I'm a medical doctor and ophthalmologist. Currently, I'm specializing in oculoplastic surgery. I have, spent my first attachment in oculoplasty a year back in Israel, which was my first attachment. And currently, I'm continuing that attachment here in Addis Ababa. And after almost a week, I'll be finishing with my attachment and I'll be the first female oculoplastic surgeon of Ethiopia. I'm married and I'm a mother of 2. Thank you.
Wow, that is so exciting to have the product of this collaboration with us today in order to help share the story. I know, Elisa, we also have with us today one of the participants in the mission to Gondar, and I don't know if that's becoming a more normal thing for a family vacation to bring your kids along on a mitzvah mission, but Jordana Schoor, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved and how this became a family affair for you as well?
Well, my son Sadia was actually a friend of one of the Hartstein's children, and I heard about the amazing work that they were doing. So I said to my daughter in February, let's go. They're having a mission. But I just wanted to share that last year I read the biography of Henrietta Zold, who's the mother of Hadassah, the mother of the Yishuv. And she was an amazing woman. But what fascinated me was seeing the transition that Israel sort of had made from being this like poor, pathetic young cousin that every woman in America had a knit to send money to Israel. And whereas Israel certainly still benefits from and appreciates American money and American devotion, Israel's in a different place right now, where Israel sees itself as strong and proud and generous and able to go out into the world. And being part of Operation Ethiopia, especially as an Olah who grew up with that American perspective, but now as an Israeli, with my Israeli daughter, to go out there and to be able to do Tikkun Olam, where we're saying we're strong, we have resources, we have medical capabilities, and Israel's out there to be a light into the nations. It's really like a dream come true for the Jewish people. So when we're standing there on an alleyway, literally, in the middle of Ethiopia, giving out medicine and glasses and even glass eyes, there's certainly a pride about what it means that what Israel has succeeded in doing in the past 75 years, not only surviving, but thriving as generous donors to all humanity.
Wow. The excitement and involvement of other volunteers in these efforts, as Elisa was explaining, sort of what started out as a project of love and because they could, and then they figured out how to make it more impactful, has come with a deeper investment of resources, time, networks, all of which are valuable in building any kind of organization, but certainly in the nonprofit sector, there is a need to garner a lot of different kind of resources in a very short time, often when health considerations are involved. I know we have also a short video that will give a little bit of the visuals to round this out, and then we have some time for those of you in the audience, if you want to start thinking up some questions you want to pose to specific panelists, please put those in the chat, and we'll see how many we can get in. We're going to go ahead and put the last video up now, and then we'll resume the conversation.
Okay. Well,
To introduce it.
yeah, never mind.
Well, there were pieces of that you didn't need to read Amharic to appreciate the kind of impact that was happening. Dr. Hartstein, I'm inclined to come to you and Dr. Seble for just to get your to share a little bit about what it's like as a medical professional involved in a training like the one you did in bringing a physician from another country to Tel Aviv for training, as opposed to what you were able to do while you were in country in Ethiopia. Could you maybe just describe those two different dynamics? Then we could hear a little bit from Dr. Seble about her actual experience when she came to Tel Aviv, because you got to do it on both ends.
Right. Yeah, no, it's great being there. And you see, we provide a lot of care, and there are many organizations that do this. I think one thing unique about us that we're training the local Ethiopian doctors, because that's the key to sustainability, is that they take over. And as Seble says, she'll be the first. There's not many oculoplastic surgeons in Ethiopia in general, and she's the first female one. So we're really happy to have her train with us, and also obviously to have her learn about Israel and the culture, and us to learn more about Ethiopian. Seble can elaborate on that.
Yeah. So, oculoplasty is a kind of hard and difficult subspecialty in ophthalmology. So most of the people don't want to join that. So there are in total of 5 male subspecialties working in Ethiopia as oculoplastic surgeons for 120 million people. You can, estimate the ratio, so they are overburdened. There are a lot of patients. Most of our patients present to us, complicated in advanced case, end stage. So, learning oculoplasty was a very great deal. But when I got that opportunity, I was having a second thought, because everybody was saying, really, can you manage this? So with this in mind, I set to Israel. So I had the chance to work with Professor Morris, increasing my knowledge, skill, and I, excel in the surgical skill, in my knowledge. And, I was so pleased to have that 4-month attachment, because not only I loved oculoplasty, and, I really accepted, and it helped me in a very different ways to help my patient. I was introduced to advanced technology, which can be helpful for my patient. I learned working with different subspecialties. So currently, when I continue my attachment here in Addis, I try to work with neurosurgeons, with ENTs, and that really helped my outcome of my patients. It shortened their surgery time, and I'm having great results, which I learned all this in Israel. And not only that, Professor Morris was able to join me in surgeries in Addis. So we were, able to do different complicated surgeries here in Ethiopia. And he was providing me with a lot of consumables, which are, really helpful for me, because I am doing these surgeries in limited resource situation. So this is really helpful, and, it helped me to escalate and to, be perfect as much as possible. I'm getting there, and I really love what I'm doing. I am helping a lot of patients. I joined for more than 220 surgeries in Israel. So I did a lot of, lead surgeries, orbit surgeries, advanced, complicated things, which I'm bringing back here to Ethiopia. And I am, doing a lot of independent surgeries. I have done more than 200 independent surgeries, complicated cases with a lot of, great outcomes, with positive outcomes. So I'm, really happy, and, that experience helped me to, to be a better oculoplastic surgeon. So my attachment in Israel was really great. I enjoyed the country. I love the people. I love the culture. I really enjoyed it. And it helped me, to develop spiritually and in knowledge-wise too. So my stay was really great. I really adore my time. It's one of my best time of my life, and I'm really and I'm really thankful, for Operation Smile, for Operation Ethiopia, and to work with them, and we are continuing that still when I came back here, and we're helping a lot of patients. Helping a patient in Ethiopia, you don't only help the patient, you help the family as a whole. These people, they are blind, and, the kids are there to take care of them. So you are literally, helping the whole family. You help, people, kids going to school instead of attending their, parents or their blind, relatives. So, helping one patient means helping, the family, helping the community as a whole. So we are, doing a great thing, helping our patients with a positive outcome. Thank you.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's an aspect of this work with both organizations that really, while the patient may be the one in direct need of the intervention, the impact that these interventions have on entire families, and in some cases communities, is really often an important part of the longer term impact of this work. I do have to ask, I think you said 400 different surgeries while you were in Tel Aviv. Was that the number?
220 different surgeries while I was
220 surgeries over 4 months, if I'm correct, and so you actually had time to see some part of the country or outside of the operating room. Okay, well, and what lasting memory do you have outside of the operating room?
Well, I've been many times to Jerusalem. I've been to, Nazareth, Haifa. I really love spending time in Haifa, and But I traveled a lot. Yeah, I've been to the Dead Sea, and that's it, I guess.
Well, thanks for sharing with that, and indeed the partnership that you've built with Dr. Hartstein on both sides of the pond, in this case, of the different activities, some of which are happening with your colleagues now in Addis as a result of your advanced training. And congratulations to you on your professional journey, and we're grateful to have you as a friend and someone doing outstanding work that really is going to impact on many individuals and families. I want to come back to our the top of the program, Matnat Chaim, and Judy. Maybe I think one of the things that is hard to understand in a system of matching, there always seems to be like almost a randomness to it. What is it that you're able to do to essentially make that process more efficient, so that indeed, are there lists of donors that are sort of ready to go? Is there a list of people who are requesting? How does that matching process work so that the right person at the right time, is able to match, given that, it's working on a global scale according to the World Health Organization, at such a high level per capita. What is the secret sauce that you find in this matching process?
Okay, that's a great question, Wayne. First thing you have to understand about kidney donation is that every single person who wants to donate a kidney and is able to do so donates a kidney. It's not like bone marrow transplants where there's a very specific match and it's hard, and people can be in the database for years and not end up donating. Everybody who wants to donate a kidney donates a kidney. It's mostly the first line of matching is blood type, and after that we have things like age and physical size. A very small person cannot donate a kidney to a very large individual. Has to be some kind of, they have to be about the same size. They should be about the same age, because you wouldn't want a person who was 60 whose kidney has been working for 60 years to donate to someone who's 20, unless you had no choice. So you try to have those kind of things need to be approximate. And there are also things like if the donor has any special requests and where people live and which hospital they want to donate at and so on. But the most important thing to understand is that we have lists of waiting lists of kidney patients in every blood type, but we don't have waiting lists of people waiting in the wings who have been approved to donate. They just donate. That's how it works. The process of kidney donation is long and involved. It usually takes about an average of 6 to 8 months to go through all the medical tests, because there are extremely high standards for kidney donors. They have to be incredibly healthy in order to make sure that there's no danger to the donor. Obviously, it's not a zero danger. I mean, it's surgery. You have an incision and so on. There can be various types of problems, but it's a very, very low risk surgery for a very, very high positive outcome. Over 97% of kidney donations in Israel are successful.
Wow, that itself is a great tribute. Rachel Steele, could you maybe just you made a reference to knowing your donor? Have you maintained? How does that work? Like we heard some powerful stories before about people feeling like they've given life to a next generation, being another mother, another grandmother, whatever. How are you relating to one or both of the donors who you initially came into contact with?
Yeah, that's a nice question. Yeah, well, luckily for me, I'm in touch with both of my donors. I actually have a really close relationship with them, but obviously this is totally dependent on them and how much they want to be involved with me. For me, it's an extreme feeling of love, which it's one that I can't really explain, of what I feel towards my donors. And I'll speak about the woman. Her name's Heber, who donated to me 8 months ago. I feel like a sisterhood with her. I feel a soul connection. And I met her on the day of the surgery, because she has the option to change her mind until the day of the surgery. And it felt like we'd known each other forever. I guess I feel really lucky with this. I don't know if this happens for every donor and recipient, but since we've definitely stayed in touch, I've got a part of her body inside me. So I really feel like it's a connection beyond any relationship that I've ever had in my life. I feel really lucky. If anything, from all the bad that comes from kidney disease, I get to meet this wonderfully altruistic person and have her in my life and have her family in my life, and my family know her family as well. And it's a really, really wonderful connection. I feel very, very lucky to have that. Yeah.
Elisa, I'm going to come back to you to give you the last word before we close out with Carol. Hearing this discussion of the family connections now, your own family, Jordana's family, that joined your work. We saw some of those images in the video. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about what you see happening as a person who understands business processes, as you've run other kinds of organizations. What is it that you see these organizations tapping into that maybe does present like this sort of X factor for the sustainability of the organization and the growth of the organization?
Right. Well, I have a lot. I'll try and consolidate my remarks. In terms of your last question, what's really amazing about what we're doing is we're only a year old officially as a nonprofit, but we've like honed our process over years. And what I mean by that is we have a very efficient process for treating patients in the field, as you saw some in the video, but we've also had years to establish relationships within Ethiopia with Gondar University Hospital, with the municipalities. You might think that if you're like a Harvard trained surgeon and you want to show up in a developing country and operate for free, they would let you. You can't. You have to have connections. You need a license. You need them to trust you. So what's exciting is that we have this very strong foundation and the potential is really unlimited. I think you asked a very interesting question initially, which is the people that we bring with us and families coming to volunteer. We have a trip in July and we have 3 different pairs of families, parent, child, a couple. And we have a Zoom meeting with everybody before we start and everybody meets each other. And we always ask everybody to go around and, you know, tell us, why are you interested in doing this? And it is so incredibly inspiring to hear the different things people say. Everybody has a different reason, but I think what we're tapping into is people just want to help. It's beautiful to hear that many of the people we speak to, and we live in Israel, we live in Renana, taking many volunteers from our community and other communities in Israel. Many people say, I just want to give back. I feel like I am so fortunate. I am so lucky and I want to give back. And something else that's incredibly inspiring is we have many post-Army, post-Sherut Leumi young people. And I find it incredible that these are people who've spent 2 to 3 years giving to the state of Israel in their service. And what do they want to do when they get out? They contact us before their service is out. Do you have a trip on X date? They want to give back. And Jordana could speak to this too, perhaps if there's another minute, but I mean, most of our volunteers, we ask them afterwards, how did you feel? What do you think? And for many people, it's a life-changing experience because I think most people, they want to give, they want to help. They don't always know how. And we provide a way for them to do that in a very meaningful way.
That really is a great testament to, again, as you said, you know, in 1 year, how you've accelerated this effort and are giving more opportunities to families to become involved in making this an intergenerational dynamic. Speaking of intergenerational dynamics, Carol Karsch, I have to give you the last word, but with a big smile on your face today. You're a giving expert with a lot of experience identifying high impact nonprofits. We even got some shout outs early on for Tucson, Arizona. I know in your own origins in the philanthropic universe. Tell us a little bit, just to round out this episode. We'll be back with more in this series, but tell us a little bit about how you see these 2 organizations and how people can learn about more about them. Well, I think we got you're on silent still. There we go.
Wayne, I was traveling with you all the way with stories we heard today. The Israeli nonprofits are so creative, so caring, and it's such an important part of the life in the country. And you saw the priceless work of these organizations today. So I just want to say our work is to give them financial sustainability, to give them an opportunity to be here long-term for what they do. And the other role that we play is to give them awareness, because we want people worldwide to know about these organizations and look what they're doing. So we thank you, the American Israel Friendship League. You've been bringing people together, I would say, more than 50 years. And our role in Israel is to help Our organizations establish legacies, so they have the financial resources, I would say, maybe forever. We'll keep doing that. Thank you all. Wonderful, wonderful participants. And we're so happy to sponsor this today.
Well, Carol and Mordecai, thanks again for this wonderful partnership and the opportunity to share the great work of these Israeli nonprofits. We're looking forward to continuing to explore this with you and bring to light, frankly, work and individuals that often go unrecognized, that are unknown, new friends like Dr. Seble, who are doing great things in the world, Jordana and her family. All of these stories become, force multipliers when, we give the opportunity for Israeli innovation to really be unleashed on the world in a very positive way. Now and then, we all need to take a deep breath and relax a little bit too. And so next week on the 11th, we are doing Zumba together. So if you want a different kind of experience on our webinar program, come back on June 11th. All summer long, we've got great programs for you. They range from Zumba to, like you've seen, some of the most incredible human intervention stories, helping save lives and improve lives in Israel and around the world. Thanks for being with us today, everybody. Have a great week. Lehitraot.